How much Rory and Mal do you listen to?
I listen to a lot. I watch a lot of their clips. I don't listen to every episode, but I catch an episode every so often, like maybe once a week.
I almost gave Rory a rant recently when I listened to a clip of, I believe it was them talking about Fresh and Fit and Flagrant. And I watched this clip. They're spending a lot of time like going back and forth over the details of the story. Like, did Fresh and Fit even appear on Flagrant? There's time taken out of this podcast clip trying to figure out if they ever even appeared on it. I'm sorry, this is not the kind of thing that I feel comfortable clicking on. Like, if I'm going to click on something, I need you to be speaking with authority. That's one thing that I could give academics is when I click on a clip, I can usually count on him understanding the subject matter better than me. I ultimately did not make that clip. I thought about making it. I was going to go big 22, but I was going to text Rory too and be like, yo, this is just content. I'm just going to go off on you guys.
Like real, though.
Yeah, but like it's just for fun because I don't want you to like feel like I actually don't fuck with you because I do with you. But that would have been good actually if I did that because it would have gave him something to talk about. We could have talked about it, but I'm kind of letting people in behind the veil there. I don't do a lot of that. But I think
I love that you do it with me. That's awesome.
Well, that's like Israel dropping the pamphlet saying like, hey, we're going to bomb you. Get the fuck out of here.
This is not war. Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And that seems kind of, I mean, it sucks that you got to bomb the hospital, but it's cool that you warned everybody to get out beforehand. Yeah. Like, it sucks that if I went in on Rory and Mal, but if I warn them beforehand, then it's kind of like, oh, then this is just for content, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the content describe content over everything for the audience if they don't know what that is?
Well, content over everything, I think, is kind of to me like wrestling, right? Like where maybe Triple H and Ric Flair are hanging out at the bar and they see some fans and they are like, we got to pretend like we're not cool because content matters more than us being friends right now. And I think things like Joe purposely disagreeing, podcasters do this a lot, where they take a vantage point that they don't really agree with to further the entertainment value. So the entertainment value at all times is the priority. Friendships, how you feel about stuff is secondary to that. That is COE.
Sometimes when I'm podcasting with Whack, I feel like he's just sitting there trying to think of anything possible to disagree with me on. And like, not that he has to actually disagree with it, but he's just trying to find anything that he can act as if he disagrees with just so that there's content, which I think is a very fair strategy as a content creator. But then also at a certain point, it starts to feel disingenuous, right?
Yeah, and the lifespan on that is short term because I would think that like Whack and you is a long term thing, right? Where it's going to be like 5 years. You're going to be doing the podcast, right? I
wonder. I was sitting there with the Insane Clown Posse and him yesterday, and they've been together for like 30 years, 32 years.
Shout out to them. I remember them.
And I was just thinking like, me and Whack have been doing this for like 8 months or some shit. Like, and sorry, there's been a few ups and downs. Yeah. Like, can I imagine what 31 more years of this would be like? I'm not really sure. That's why I think like the group conversation in hip hop is one that is more challenging than people give it credit for, because to stay together as a group over decades has got to be so unbelievably difficult, especially when you have a large group. I mean, that's just two dudes, so that's one thing, but
ICP operated kind of in a counterculture where I think it's maybe easier to stick together. I don't know if maybe they're on mainstream or a lot of people ingest their music, they stay together as long.
I think if you want to take on a group project like that you just have to really be willing to stick it out and think about waking up like almost every day of your life putting on clown paint. Even just that, like, you have committed yourself to something that is so beyond what most people have to do. When you think about how easy the life of the Migos is that they just walk out on stage and they're not even a fucking group anymore, but prior to recent events, like you just get to dress however you normally want to dress. You don't have to paint your fucking face. Like, I mean, them taking that on, it's pretty impressive.
Weren't they on like the federal watch list or something? Like, weren't they?
Well, so their fans got labeled
Juggolos?
a gang.
Yeah, the Juggolos.
And in fact, when I went to a college, right when I graduated high school, I went to a college to check it out that my parents were trying to urge me to go to in Keene, New Hampshire. And one of the local word around town was that the Juggolos and the jocks are at war in this small town. And I never really found out much about, I don't know if any bodies were dropping or anything like that, but they were at the very least brawling. And actually, ICP are like traumatized from the FBI labeling their fans as a gang because they got dropped from Hot Topic. They wouldn't carry their merch anymore.
Really?
You know, they were saying that like a mom got pulled over driving and her son had a Insane Clown Posse shirt on and they arrested him for being a gang member.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
That's
it's like
scary.
kind of hard to believe, but
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when they were on TR, like they seemed like they were positioned to take the next, and then they just got taken away. But,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like their style, I don't know if it was ever really meant to be mainstream.
top of the charts.
Yeah, but
I don't think so.
They've had their own. I feel like they were like a real voice for white trash culture that like white people didn't have at a certain point.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have like Steven Crowder and Tucker Carlson and stuff.
Steven Crowder, who's that? I Tucker Carlson, I know, but
So you're really not on the right wing podcast scene, huh?
yeah, I thought I was expecting to see a right wing of this thing, like they said when everybody left.
If
Remember
Richard
that?
Spencer was here just giving a speech
I
for
thought
this.
he was gonna just be back there, like. I